Hello.
Hello. You can wait just a few more minutes. All right, I think we can just begin. It doesn't seem like we can expect more people. So, can you guys hear me okay? All right, thank you. Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to FOCIL Breakout 28. Today we can share a little bit about the headliner status and then share some development updates as always. So for the headliner side, we proposed a fossil for a headliner for Gotha. Slightly after the last breakout call, we made the proposal. Here's the link in case anyone missed it. And to my understanding, we will be deciding the CL headliner in the next ACDC, which is on the 19th. So please check that call if you are available. Alongside with it, I'm currently working on to updating fossil spec, starting from the CL spec and then execution spec and engine API spec. The CL spec should be ready by next ACDC. That's our plan. Um, yeah, so for the CL spec, I'm thinking about two main changes there. So one is about IL bitlist inclusivity check, and the second one is about IL compliance check. Um, yeah, actually, I was thinking about how can I explain this nicely, and I made a short script. So Let me share my screen. See, okay, so won't be long. Don't be afraid. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So there are two main changes, and I just wanted to explain what that is because it's a little bit different from what we thought back in the days. So let's start off with IL bit list inclusivity check. So we want to add the IL bit list in the bit. So builders fill in this bit list indicating which ILs they've considered when building a block. And this serves as a good signal for proposal whether the payload will satisfy the IL constraints. It's not a guarantee, so builders can provide with an IL in compliant block at the end. But if you see a bit that has an inclusive IL bit list, you'd expect the corresponding payload would be IL compliant. And here, inclusive means the IL bit list is a superset of your local IL view. So if your view is, let's say, 11101, which means you didn't see the fourth IL, you expect bits with 11101 or 11111. And this inclusivity check can be done by either attesters or PTC. The trade-off here is what to reorg when it's not inclusive. If we go with our testers, we will gonna reorg beacon block, while PTC will reorg the envelope. But here, reorging beacon block gives us more, bigger impact because we will gonna miss the whole slot basically. So I think using PTC here is better. And my next question was, can we do better? So um, do we have to reorg envelope if the bit list is not inclusive? And my current thinking is it does have to be because the payload can be IL compliant even when the bit list is not inclusive. This can happen when the ILs overlap. So the missing IL doesn't really add any new transaction. And this is not unlikely, especially when an IL is able to include most of transactions in the public mempool. So my current proposal is to let's add IL bit list to the bit and let PTC do vote for inclusivity, but we don't use it in the fork choice. So the IL bit list itself is informational purpose. So if you found a builder that makes a bit with not inclusive bit list, or they makes a bit with inclusive bit list, but with IL in compliant block, you can downscore them, for example. I'm not 100% sure if this is the way we have to go. So if you have any better idea or feedback, please let me know. So that was for the IL bit list. And the second one is IL compliance check. So when a testers for slot N receive an envelope for slot N minus one, they check if it satisfies the IL constraints. In this case, let's assume that it's not IL compliant, so it misses this yellow transaction. Then a tester store this payload as IL compliant, and when they receive a beacon block for slot N, they expect it to extend the envelope for slot N minus two, not N minus one. They vote for the beacon block only if it correctly reorgs the IL compliant envelope. So this is it. So these two changes will be the main changes of the use spec on top of Gloss. And yeah, sorry. I didn't see the raise hand. Yes, Justin.
That's okay. I actually had a question on the bit list being a superset of what was in the beacon block, and maybe this is a stupid question. How does the view merge allow for that? Like, aren't we saying that there are additional transactions that not everybody may have seen? Like,
Oh,
if the
so
bit,
that's
go ahead.
yes, please go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just
So
what I don't under. I guess let me try to elaborate on the question a little bit. What I don't understand is that we have a bit list of various inclusion lists, yeah, and that adds up to a list of transactions that need to be included. But if what you're proposing is a superset of what was merged by the committee, couldn't you be asking to include transactions that not everybody has seen
for 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 builder, I guess, right? Because
for the
like
builder? Yeah.
when yeah, build. But I think it doesn't hurt because the builder end up including more transaction than you expect, and it doesn't violate any of the fossil mechanism. So what could go wrong is when a builder gives you non-superset IL view, then you probably don't want to accept the bid because might contain it might not contain IL
Okay.
transaction.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we check inclusion against the committee's subset inclusion list, not against what the actual proposer saw. Got it. That makes sense. Sorry, thank you.
Yes. So yeah. So when testers validate the uh, IL constraints, they use their local IL view, not the one in the bit list. So the bit list could be superset because proposer or builder have 1 more second to receive and update
Right.
their IL view. Yeah.
So they
So
have no
this
idea
is
that the
just
extra transaction was somebody's inclusion list. They just see it as an extra transaction. They don't care.
they actually receive they might receive an inclusion list that a tester haven't seen yet because they have some extra time to update their IL view. But when you are validating um, IL constraints, what you care is actually a set of transactions, not the number of ILs. So there
Yeah,
might be a case that, yeah, so that's why I think it is better to not use IL bitlist inclusivity in our fork choice because there could be a case that it is not a superset, but the payload itself is actually IL compliant.
got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other question?
Yeah, I'd like to ask a question about the difference between the PTC checks and the attested checks. So correct me if I'm wrong, but if we go with the PTC checks, does that mean that there will be no impact on the fork choice? Because in my understanding, reorging the envelope is done earlier, right?
Um, Reworking the envelope. Yes, because PTC doesn't. Um, I mean, PTC vote doesn't say anything about whether the payload is IL compliant or not. But
Mhm.
actually, so what I'm proposing is let PTC to vote for the IL bit list inclusivity. So whether the IL bit list in the bit was a superset to their local IL view. But actually, it doesn't have to be PTC. I think you made the right point. It could be done by testers. Um, because yeah, I need to think a little bit more about this because it's not set in stone yet. So
Okay.
yeah, the I think the gist that I wanted to convey is that we want to add IL bit list to signal proposer that this corresponding payload would satisfy the IL constraint or not. But and we also wanna ask our testers or PTC to vote for IL bitlist inclusivity. but we don't want to. I think it is better to not use that information in our fork choice. But whether
Mhm.
testers or PTC vote for that inclusivity check is something that we have to think a little bit more. So yeah,
Okay, I see. Yeah, thanks.
thank you. Do we have any other question or anything's unclear or seems weird? All right, I'm planning to make a PR by the end of this week. So I think we can have more productive discussion once we have the code ready. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that we're gonna revisit this topic in the next breakout. So if my explanation was not clear enough, it's okay. We can just revisit it later. And yeah, so that was all that I wanted to share. Um, do we have any other updates or something to discuss? Yes, Pala?
Yeah, I guess I can go over some of the research I've been doing on the different delays with the inclusion list. The data is a little messy with using the Excel data from PandaOps, but it's pretty much what everyone assumed with the current setup with zero delay. 20% are 20% of the transactions in the inclusion list are getting added to the next block regardless. So essentially, it's wasted space. And when we move the delay to 1 and 2, it only increases by about 0.1%. It's still pretty messy because there's a lot of spam transactions, and I can't check the state since it's all historical data. But other than that, and the censorship only ILs, which are just transactions that have been flagged as censored, as you can expect, the delay doesn't really affect them. So I think a one slot delay, as talked earlier, wouldn't be too bad, but I got some new data that I'm going to go over soon from Block Native. So hopefully that gives me a little bit more resolution. But yeah.
So if I understood you correctly, delaying it by one slot would give us better result because it gives us extra 1%.
It gives us extra 0.1%. So there's
Oh,
not much of a
0.1%.
difference. Yeah, I'm not quite sure if it would really look like this on like a live node with IOs implemented because we are having such a low inclusion rate of the mock inclusion list. So we're building a mock inclusion list and then checking how many of those transactions get added into the next block. And obviously that IO is not actually being applied. And that's only about 20% of the mock IL with the current mempool data I have. So I've been trying a bunch of things to filter it out better, but right now it still also seems like it's a good idea to just fill the full inclusion list opposed to only doing censored transactions.
Could you expand a little bit of the censorship detection algorithm?
Yeah, for the censorship detection algorithm, I was just looking at transactions that were valid. Um, they were above the base fee and were also above the top 10 or 25th percentile of priority fees. So we're not looking at like bottom transactions, stuff that should likely be included. I can pull it up now. The average IL was including 4 of those transactions per block for the mock ILs. But it was just a very simple, this looks like it should have been valid and put into a block, but it's been sitting in the mempool for 2+ blocks, I believe, is the current setup.
Got it. Right.
And hopefully by next time I'll have this written up, so it's not just me talking at everyone.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, great. Maybe we can also have simulate various inclusion-list building algorithm and then see how it affects on the result. I mean,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
thinking,
not just yeah,
yeah, it would definitely be possible and pretty easy to like add on top of this, but yeah, definitely for the future.
yeah, yeah. We'd love to see if delaying it by one slot would give us much network bandwidth saved. So yeah, it's a great research, I think. So, and thanks for the update.
Yeah, and on the network bandwidth, you're looking at yeah, about 20% saved because you can so wait, sorry. Wait, never mind. Let me think about that for a second.
Yeah, because I think that network bandwidth save is 0.1% according to your current data,
Yeah, yeah.
because that's what we, yeah, yeah. So yeah, we'll see. So yeah, looking forward to the update in the next breakout call. Thank you. All right. Do we have any other updates? All right. I think we can just go ahead and wrap up this call. Yeah, thank you guys for joining. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day and see you guys in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, bye.
Hey.
Thanks.